Hi, this is Majin, and here's my comic pull list for March 21st, 2012. As you can see, it's a decent stack this time. A lot of independents this time around. Starting off with DC, we got the number 7s again. Wonder Woman. I'm probably going to drop it after this issue. I had forgotten to actually tell my comic store to drop it, and I didn't want to put it back. So when I go into the store next week, I'll officially get rid of this one. Then there's Justice League number 7. In this one we get the first mini story for Shazam, so I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to work. Batman number 7, I'm really looking forward to reading this. The one thing I'm afraid of is the Court of Owls is going to... This is a long-term story, so I'm afraid that I'm going to get some burnout. So hopefully they'll be able to keep a story flowing and be interesting for me. Catwoman number 7. They had some really interesting character developments with Catwoman in the previous issues. I'm really looking forward to continuing it. On to Marvel, we have some Thunderbolts. 171. I looked through this earlier, and there is this really nasty scene that I think some people are just going to love. And I'll cover that in my review of this book. But I was like, oh my god. Okay, next up is Iron Man number 514, dealing with the Mandarin still. So we'll see how the battle turns out. Amazing Spider-Man 682, The Ends of the Earth. I'm really looking forward to reading this. Marvel has been pumping the story up big time, and this is one of the stories I'm really looking forward to reading. So hopefully this will be good. Wolverine 305. This is another one that's on the chopping block. I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep it. Maybe when they finally switch writers, which is coming up really soon. Just so this way I have a run, I guess you can say. But at the same time, when I'm looking at Silver Samurai, I'm like, Jesus, this is the biggest piece of horse manure. And, the least you could have done was given him a better costume. I mean, this is the 21st century, and you don't have to make him look stupid. Next up is Kick-Ass 2, number 7. This is, I believe, the final part to this series. There's obviously going to be more because Hit Girl is going to have her own series. And yeah, this is the end of book 2, I think. Book 3. No, end of book 3, it says. So, I'm really looking forward. No, actually, that was on automatic. I'm not really looking forward to reading Hit Girl. Well, I think Hit Girl is a really popular character, and I think that she was probably the main reason why I was buying Kick-Ass. I'm not really looking forward to seeing Hit Girl in her own series. Super Dinosaur number 9. This is another one I'm probably going to drop. I like the novelty of it, but I think the novelty is slowly wearing off. And I'm not finding the stories as interesting as I did when it first came out. The Strange Talent of Luther Strode. Now this one, this is the last issue. This is 6 of 6. I looked through this, and I'll do a more proper review later. It's really bloody. I can throw that out there. I can throw, there's people getting killed. I can also say that I have the strange feeling that it probably sold just enough titles for them to do a sequel, which would probably be a mistake. Next up is Super Crooks. What do you do when there's too many superheroes in America? You go somewhere else, which is the truth. Let's think about it, realistically speaking. If you were a super villain, let's say you're Hydro Man. I picked Hydro Man because he's a crappy villain. What are you going to do? You're going to stay in New York, so that way you can get beat by Spider-Man, you can get beat by the Avengers, you can be beat by the Fantastic Four, you can be beat by Daredevil, or you're going to go to Omaha, Nebraska, where there's no superheroes. I think I know my choice. But these guys take it a little bit differently. Different approach. They go out of the country. So I'm kind of really curious to see how this book is going to turn out. And hopefully this will be good. Then we have Snake Eyes, number 11. This is part 8 in the new Cobra Command series. And let's see what Cobra Commander has up his sleeve for the destruction of the world, so to speak. And Rage More. This was on a whim, actually. I'm not sure why I got it, other than it was a giant monster on the cover. As you can see, it's not in color, so that was rather disappointing. I remember Richard Corbin, his artwork, and I wasn't quite fond of it in his Twisted Tales books, stories. I remember those were the ones I didn't like the most out of those. And so that's kind of surprised me. But it had a giant monster on the front, and it was going to eat somebody. So I thought that was kind of hard to say no to. So I thought I'd give it a try, and we'll see what happens. Anyways, that's my pull list. I know there's a bunch of X titles. I did see, I looked through the, what's that stupid Avengers X-Men book that came out, and I just shook my head going, oh god, this is so bad. And you know, I remember, you know why they shaved Colossus bald? Because when you look at Cable, he looks like Colossus with hair. That's why they shaved Colossus bald. And I just thought that book was so bad, and I'm just so glad I didn't buy it. I mean, granted, it does set the stage a little bit for the AVX, but it was just pathetic. I think they could have easily done it a different way, and made it still really exciting, and instead of just giving us this nonsense. I mean, it was just nonsense. Glad I did not spend any money on this thing. Anyways, if you have any comments or questions, let me know. Rate the video up or down. Let me know what you think. And I'm curious to know what you guys got in your pull list. As you can see, I left a lot of Marvel on the table, a lot of X titles. And I'm curious to know if you guys are still getting the DC stuff, or if you guys made any significant cuts. And I'll try to do some reviews shortly. So, until next time.